What a lovely day to be outside. Lovely. Hey, this is Steve. I am at Pike Place Market to see what kind of math I can find to do. So this is exciting. This place claims it has the best mac and cheese, and they're making the cheese right here. I'm pretty sure there's some math that I can find to do, but I'll have to do it another time. So many cool things to see, and such a great view, and such a beautiful day. I'm sure that there's lots of math around here. Like, I was looking at the cranes and their structures. Look, there's a cruise ship. We got so much stuff that we can see in the distance. It's just beautiful. And then I'm obsessed with things like Ferris wheels. Lots of math that we can do with Ferris wheels. Here's the famous gum wall. Given enough time and a tape measure, we could try to figure out how many pieces of gum are on this wall. Look at all these cool books for babies. I think some of these would help me out too, like quantum physics. I should probably read that. Maybe a little astrophysics, optical physics. You can learn so much while also teaching your baby. It's so great. Hey, guess what math I found so far? I don't have any money, and I want to spend money. Yeah. So that's a good example of negative numbers. Like I said, I'm obsessed. Gonna have to come back and look at this one. Now, here's what I came for: the fish market. So one of the things that they do at the fish market is when somebody buys a fish, they throw it across the market. It's a pretty fun time. Also fun, this guy shoveling ice onto the fish to keep it nice and cool and fresh. There's definitely some math that we can explore there with. At last, someone buying a fish. My patience will be rewarded. That's a big fish. Now, it's getting ready. Let's see that again in slow motion. One more time, but let's focus on the path the fish takes as it flies through the air. What we're seeing with this example of throwing a fish is what we call projectile motion. Projectile motion is anything that we throw, kick, project. So it could be even firing something or launching something. All of these things we can consider to be projectiles and follow this idea of projectile motion. Now, what is projectile motion? It's it's the path that something takes once it's been released, and thanks to the force of gravity and just in general how physics work, it's very predictable actually in a lot of ways. Like, the reason that a person can throw a fish reliably to another person in the fish market is because we know how this works. When we throw, things don't go in a straight line. They go in a U-shaped path. Sometimes it's really hard to see that U-shaped path, but it is always going to be a U-shaped path. We called this U-shaped graph, by the way, a parabola. And I have it put on this graph so we can talk about how we can look at an equation that goes with this if we want to. Now, usually we wouldn't put it in the middle of this. Normally, we want to put 0, 0 as the beginning of what we've done. And so we can do that. I can actually move things around, I think, to make that happen. But I just want to show real quick how I can say y equals, do you know what I'm going to do here? If I just have y equals x, that's a line. That's not how things travel due to gravity, or we would all end up in outer space, right? Anytime we jump. So a parabola, the simplest parabola we can come up with is y equals x squared. And what that means is that every time we move out away from 0, we're going to move up at whatever that amount is, but squared. So we can see that that means it's going to go up faster as we go along. We don't want it to go up. This is not what our path looks like. So one of the things we can do is just put in a negative to make it look a little bit more like what we've got. This parabola, though, still doesn't fit. If what I'm trying to do is create a parabola that fits the situation, I'm going to add numbers in different places. And as a math teacher, I know I have a pretty good idea of things to try, like the fact that if I put +2, it's going to bring me up to about where the top of this path is. The other thing I want to do is I want to stretch out this parabola so that I can see that, hey, it lines up with these things. Now, I did this earlier, and that's how I know that this number is going to work pretty well. One of the things that we can do with math is we can look at real world situations, and we can fit graphs and data and things like that together. We can use that in different ways. Now, as far as using this particular graph and parabola to somehow benefit the people at the fish market that throw the fish, well, we don't really necessarily need to do that, or at least I can't think of a reason why we would need to do that. But it's still valuable and helpful for us to know that behind the scenes math is doing work, right? That this is something we can rely on. This is something that's super helpful. And you use this all the time when you throw things. Do you like playing basketball? Do you like playing soccer, which would be kicking things, not throwing things? Do you like playing any sports like that involve a ball? Do you like doing scientific things like talking about launching rockets or building things that, can send things flying? All of these things incorporate projectile motion and have a path of a parabola. So this is something that we can look at whenever we go to anywhere, but especially places like Pike Place Market in their fish market, where they are every few minutes throwing fish across the way. We can find math to do pretty much anywhere. And if you liked this look into where we could find it at Pike Place Market, then please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and look for more content like this. Thanks for watching.